Hey, before you scroll past this or think this isn't about me, I want you to stay for just a moment because I'm going to describe something that you've probably never heard anyone talk about honestly, something that's happening to millions of people right now, including maybe you. And the scary part, most people don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. It's called quiet burnout. And unlike the breakdowns you see in movies, unlike the dramatic moments where everything falls apart, quiet burnout doesn't announce itself. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It sneaks in so slowly that you don't even recognize it at first. So here's what I want to ask you. When was the last time you felt genuinely excited about something? Not just doing it, but truly feeling excited. When was the last time you woke up without that heaviness in your chest? When was the last time rest actually made you feel rested? If you're struggling to remember, this video is for you. In the next minutes, I'm going to walk you through what quiet burnout really is, how to recognize it before it's too late, and most importantly, how to actually heal from it, not by pushing harder, but by finally allowing yourself to stop and listen. Let's dive in. Burnout isn't always loud. I need to say that again because so many of us are waiting for the loud version, the dramatic breakdown, the moment where you can't get out of bed, the collapse that forces everyone around you to finally see how much you're struggling. But that's not always how it works. More often, it's quiet, so quiet that you don't even recognize it at first. And that's what makes it so dangerous. Picture this. You wake up one morning and something feels a little heavier than usual. Not terrible, just heavy. So you shake it off. You get ready for work, or you tackle your day, or you show up for whatever responsibilities are waiting. And then you do it again the next day, and the next. At first, you tell yourself it's just stress. Everyone's stressed, right? Or maybe it's just a phase. You'll feel better once this project is done, or once you finish this goal, or once you get through this season of life. So you keep pushing, you keep showing up, you keep saying yes. And no one around you even notices because from the outside, you look fine. You look better than fine. You look capable, reliable, maybe even successful. You smile at the right moments, you say the right things, you perform the role that's expected of you. You function. But inside something is slowly fading. Your energy is thinning out, stretched so tightly that even rest doesn't seem to help anymore. Mornings feel heavier than they used to, and I'm not just talking about getting out of bed. I'm talking about that mental weight you carry the moment you wake up. Before your day even starts, you're already tired. Tasks that once felt simple now require enormous effort. Things you used to do automatically, answering emails, having conversations, making decisions, now feel like climbing a mountain. And this is the important part. You're tired, but not just physically tired. You're tired in your body, yes, but also in your mind, in your spirit, in a way that sleep alone can't fix. You can sleep 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, and you still wake up exhausted. Because this isn't about sleep debt. This is about emotional debt. This is about running on empty for so long that your whole system has forgotten what full even feels like. And because nothing has collapsed, because you're still getting things done, because others probably have it worse, you tell yourself you shouldn't complain. You normalize the exhaustion. You give it cute names like being busy, being disciplined, being an adult, just how life is. But it's not how life is supposed to feel, and that's what we need to talk about. Quiet burnout doesn't announce itself with alarms or warnings. There's no siren going off. There's no red light flashing. Instead, it shows up in small moments, tiny moments, moments so easy to dismiss that you brush past them without even stopping to notice. The first whisper is exhaustion, but not the normal kind. This is the kind that lingers. This is the kind that clings to you from morning to night, even after you rest. You feel tired all the time. And I mean all the time. When you wake up, during the day, at night before bed, and that moment right before you fall asleep when you think, I have to do this all again tomorrow.
Then comes irritability. Things that never used to bother you suddenly make you want to scream. Someone forgets to text you back and you're angry. A small mistake happens at work, and you're furious, disproportionately furious. Your friend makes a joke you used to find funny, and now it just annoys you. And you can't even explain why. You just feel snappy. Internally or externally, you're irritable, and you don't fully understand where it's coming from. Next, emotions start to flatten. This is subtle, but it's real. Joy feels muted, like you're watching happiness from a distance, like it's happening to someone else. Sadness feels distant. And sometimes, and this is the scary part, you feel nothing at all. You're watching your own life like you're behind glass. Things that used to matter don't anymore. Not because you don't care, but because caring costs energy you don't have. Then concentration becomes harder. You read the same sentence again and again. You forget simple things, where you put your keys, what someone just told you, why you opened that app. You struggle to stay present in conversations. Your mind keeps drifting. It's like your brain is trying to conserve energy, so it just checks out halfway through everything. Motivation fades quietly. The goals that once excited you, the projects you wanted to do, the dreams you were chasing, now feel heavy, distant, pointless. And it's not because you don't care about them anymore, it's because caring costs energy, and you don't have energy to spare. Finally, you start avoiding people, not because you don't like them, but because interaction feels draining, because explaining how you feel feels impossible, because being alone feels safer than pretending you're okay. So you cancel plans, you don't respond to messages right away, you make excuses, and slowly you start isolating. Here's the thing about all these signs. They're so easy to rationalize. You can call them stress, you can call them moodiness, you can call them laziness. You can explain them away so easily that you never stop to think, wait, maybe something bigger is happening here. And that's exactly why quiet burnout is so dangerous. It whispers gently at first, hoping you'll listen before the silence inside you grows too loud to ignore. But if you don't listen, if you keep brushing it off, that whisper can turn into something much louder. Now, I want to be really clear about something. Burnout does not come from weakness. It does not come from failure. It does not come from you being broken or incapable or not enough. Burnout comes from imbalance. It comes from expectations that quietly pile up until they outweigh your capacity to carry them. Let's start with work. Work demands more productivity, always more. More output, more efficiency, more proof that you're valuable and useful. At the same time, you're told you're replaceable, so you better keep proving yourself. More availability, too. The lines between work and personal time blur until you're checking emails at 10 p.m. and thinking about projects while you're trying to sleep. And nobody ever says, okay, that's enough. The bar just keeps moving higher. Then there are relationships. Partners ask you to show up emotionally, to be present and supportive and understanding, regardless of how depleted you feel. Friends need your advice, your time, your energy. Family has expectations. Kids need you. Parents need you. And you want to be there for people, so you show up, even when you're running on empty, even when you have nothing left to give. And underlying all of this is the message society keeps reinforcing. Rest must be earned. Slowing down means falling behind. Strength looks like endurance without complaint. Vulnerability is weakness. So we learn to override our own signals. We learn to ignore fatigue, to push past overwhelm, to swallow our discomfort and keep moving. We tell ourselves that stopping is risky, that asking for help is weakness, that admitting we're struggling is failure. But here's what nobody talks about. Mental and emotional energy are not unlimited resources. They're not like money that you can just earn more of. They're like a battery, and your battery has a capacity. Every time you override your need for rest, you're draining that battery. Every time you silence your discomfort to keep moving, you're drawing power you don't have. Every time you perform, pretend, push, and persist when you're already exhausted, you're spending energy in debt.
And over time, and this is important, over time, that quiet spending turns into debt, real debt. Exhaustion settles in, not suddenly, but gradually, until one day you realize functioning feels like survival. and survival feels like all there is. That's burnout, and that's when we need to stop and do something different. Now I want to talk about something that doesn't get talked about enough. What burnout actually costs you, not just in productivity or performance, but in your actual life. First, burnout isolates you. You stop talking about how drained you feel because you don't know how to explain it without sounding ungrateful or weak. So you pull away emotionally, not because you don't care about people, but because caring takes energy you don't have anymore. Slowly, you become disconnected from the people around you, and loneliness becomes part of the burnout. Burnout dims your joy. Little by little, you stop experiencing life. You just go through it. Moments that should feel special feel flat. Achievements that should feel proud feel hollow. Life becomes an endless checklist instead of something you actually experience. And maybe the scariest part, burnout makes you question who you actually are. You start to wonder if you're just naturally unmotivated, naturally grumpy, naturally broken. You internalize the exhaustion. You make it part of your identity, and that becomes the story you tell yourself about yourself. But the most dangerous part of quiet burnout is how invisible it is, not just to other people, to you. Because when burnout is quiet, you don't stop, you don't ask for help, you don't pause, you just keep going, slowly running on empty, hoping that one day you'll feel like yourself again, without realizing that the version of you you're trying to return to is actually asking for something very specific: rest, honesty, permission to stop pretending everything is fine. The self-awareness moment. So let me ask you some real questions, and I want you to actually think about these, not just brush past them. When was the last time you felt genuinely excited about something? Not obligated to do it, but actually excited, actually looking forward to it. How many times this week did you catch yourself wishing for the day to be over before it even started? Can you remember the last time you felt rested? Not just not tired, but actually rested, like your tank was full. How many plans have you canceled in the last month because the thought of being around people felt exhausting? Do you find yourself being irritable or short with people you love, even though you don't really mean to be? If you answered yes to several of these, you're not broken, you're not weak, you're not incapable, you're exhausted. And exhaustion deserves to be acknowledged, not ignored. It starts with acknowledgement. Let me say that again. The first step is not fixing it. The first step is acknowledging it. Gently, honestly, without judgment, without shame, without trying to explain it away or make it smaller than it is. Allow yourself to recognize the fatigue you're carrying, not as a flaw or a failure, but as information. Your body is speaking, your mind is speaking, your spirit is speaking, and they deserve to be listened to. Pay attention to the heaviness you feel. Pay attention to the numbness. Pay attention to the resistance when facing even small tasks. These are not signs that something is wrong with you. These are signs that something has been asked of you for too long. These are signals, not weaknesses. Reflection becomes an act of care here, slowing down long enough to ask, what truly matters to me? What drains me? What nourishes me? What expectations am I carrying that were never meant to be mine? Instead of automatically reacting to every demand, every expectation, every voice telling you what you should be doing. And here's the reframe you need to hear. Quiet burnout is not proof that you're incapable. It's proof that you've been capable for too long without enough support or rest. It's a signal. It's information. It's your inner wisdom trying to protect you by asking you to slow down. Shift into small choices. Healing from quiet burnout doesn't require drastic change all at once. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow or abandon all your responsibilities. Healing begins with small, intentional choices made consistently.
First, take breaks. Not only when everything is finished, before exhaustion forces you to stop. Even if it feels wrong to rest when things aren't done, rest anyway. Your rest is not a reward for productivity. Your rest is a requirement for sustainability. Rest with purpose. Allow yourself moments of stillness without guilt, without needing to justify them as productive or deserve them somehow. Just rest, because you're human, and humans need rest. Set boundaries where you can, even if they feel uncomfortable at first. And they will feel uncomfortable because you've probably spent years ignoring your own limits. But protecting your energy is not selfish. It's necessary. It's survival. Engage in simple, consistent acts of self-care. Step away from constant stimulation. Create space to breathe. Check in with yourself at the start of the day. How am I actually feeling? Check in with yourself at the end of the day. What did I need today that I didn't give myself? These small acts, done consistently, slowly rebuild what's been depleted. Shift your focus from constant performance to honest reflection. You don't need to prove your worth through endless output. You need space to reconnect with yourself, to listen, to recalibrate, and to remember that a sustainable life isn't built on pushing harder. It's built on caring enough to slow down when your inner voice asks you to. I want to be honest with you about what healing actually looks like, because I don't want you to expect some magical overnight transformation. Healing from burnout is not dramatic. There's no one moment where you're suddenly better. There's no finish line where you cross over and everything changes. It's slower than that. It's quieter than that. It unfolds gradually. Some days you'll feel a little lighter. Some days the heaviness will return and you'll wonder if you're going backwards. You're not. This is what healing actually looks like. It's not linear. It's not perfect. It's human. Energy doesn't return through force. It returns through care, through patience, through compassion, through small choices made consistently, day after day, even when you don't feel like it yet. And you have to trust the process, even when you can't see the progress yet, even when you're still tired, even when you're still struggling, because restoration is happening beneath the surface, in ways you can't always see right away. You are not your burnout. Here's what I need you to understand before we wrap up. Burnout does not define who you are, and it never has. It's not your identity. It's not your limit. It's not the truth of your worth. It's a state, temporary, understandable, and deeply human, that asks for recognition rather than resistance. When you begin to notice quiet burnout, when you respect the signals instead of fighting them, you give yourself permission to heal without shame, without guilt, without the feeling that you've somehow failed. And that permission is everything. Because here's the truth. You are not broken. You're tired. And tiredness can be met with kindness, balance, and time. If you're watching this right now and you're recognizing yourself in what I've described, I want you to know something. You're not alone. Millions of people are experiencing quiet burnout right now. Millions of people are performing, pretending, pushing, and persisting even though they're exhausted. Millions of people are listening to these same signals and wondering if they're allowed to stop. And the answer is yes, you are allowed to stop. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to acknowledge your exhaustion and actually do something about it. So here's what I want to invite you to do. This week, pick one of the steps I mentioned, just one. Maybe it's setting one boundary. Maybe it's taking one guilt-free break. Maybe it's having one honest conversation with yourself about how you're actually feeling. Start somewhere. Start small, but start. And if this resonated with you, if you felt seen by what I described, please let me know in the comments. Share your experience. Tell me what you recognized in yourself. Because sometimes the most healing thing is knowing that you're not the only one carrying this, that someone else understands, that this is real and it matters, and you're not crazy for feeling it. Like this video if it helped you, subscribe if you want more content about mental health, wellness, and the real conversations nobody's having. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Remember, you don't have to be perfect, you don't have to have it all figured out, you don't have to be the strong one all the time. You just have to be willing to listen to yourself and to care enough to slow down. I believe in you, and I'm rooting for your healing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.